Alright, tonight we're going to take a look at the Spinnaker Bradner. And I have to be honest with you guys, this is a brand that I was probably, I'm not sure what the right word for it would be. I definitely wasn't looking at them or looking to even really check them out too much. They were getting pretty good exposure off a couple other really good YouTube channels already. And I'll probably put links to those channels in the description. I don't want to talk too much about all that, but I do have to say, now that I have one in hand, they sent me this for me to check out. These are actually really good value-driven watches. They're very well constructed. They have a lot of really good materials, and the quality control seems really good. So, I don't know what, I mean, as watch crazed fans, I mean, I don't know what more do you really want. I mean, I know there's a bunch of other things that check, people's boxes for things, but when you have a brand that are making very good looking watches that are built well and then have a price point on their website, this watch is $285. Now, as I was even looking on their website, a little pop-up offer. They have a really good website, by the way, and I'll put a link to that in the description too. A little pop-up came up and offered me 15% off. So, I mean, they're offering you 15% off as soon as it pops up. I don't know what you have to do, sign up for their email, whatever you got to do. So there might even be more discounts out there somewhere else. I'm not really sure. But let's talk about the watch specifically, because this one, as soon as I opened up and checked it out, I was intrigued by the way, let's zoom in a bit, ready, 1, 2, 3, boom. If you look closely, the way everything is applied in there, and especially that inner rotating bezel, I mean, everything is done really good, it's, everything's applied except for that rotating bezel. You can tell that's, some sort of molded thing, and then they painted the lume on it. But it gives a really good depth, and then with that, but I don't want to say boxed, but that sapphire crystal way it sits a little bit prouder of the case. It's not domed or anything as far as I can tell, but if it is, it's super slight. And then you have the really cool green, and then the color of the, I'm assuming it's some sort of super luminova C1 lume, because it pops at first and then it fades really fast. So I mean, that's indicative of a C1, I believe. So that would be maybe my only gripe with this watch is it looks like a watch that the opportunity to do some killer lume was there, and you just don't have the killer lume. If they would have done, I mean, I don't know how proprietary it is, but like that Borealis C3X1 or something like that, or just some different options out there that they could have played with to really make the lume just insane on this. And I think with this style crystal and the way that inner chapter, inner rotating bezel is, you would get some pretty crazy reflections on the inside, and I really dig that on some of the watches that I've had cross my path. But that green dial is very well done. I like the color of the lume on the indices. You have the brushed hands, you have the black date wheel, everything looks good. I really like the execution on this. It does say it's a 500 foot, 150 meter depth rating. It does have a screw down crown here. This is the crown. Let me zoom back out here real quick. I'll show you real quick. The crown action is really good. You get it out here. It doesn't have that crazy pop, but you do know it's out. You do have you probably can't hear it because there's other background noise, but this has the Seiko NH35 movement in it, so you have a nice positive feel to the wind. It is going to be, a hack as well, and then you have the date wheel and everything like that. It's standard Seiko NH35. It's a really good movement, and then you don't have to backspin or anything like that. It lines up really good. Now this top crown, which is not signed, is the crown to operate the inner rotating bezel. So, and it is firm enough. I mean, you can see it goes both ways as well. It's firm enough that you're going to be able to put it in place, and it's probably going to stay there. Like, I mean, even if you like kind of bump it and stuff like that, like it doesn't it doesn't move, but yet it's still easy enough to move, while doing that. So if you were going to time something or whatever like that, now I doubt anybody's really going to use this for a diving watch. This is just a dive style watch. It does have a decent depth rating, so you could easily go swimming with it and everything like that. It has a really very good looking leather on it. It is a water resistance leather. It's very comfortable. It's soft, it's supple, and you can tell it'll break in quickly and nicely. I think it'll wear really good. I love the coloring pairing with it, with the black case and then this greener tone of the leather. And then you can see at different angles in low light, that green just looks great with this black case. I'm very happy with that. You do have a display case back, which is always fun. It's not decorated or anything like that crazy, but you do have the specific rotor to the Spinnaker brand. And then you have, you can see the mechanical bits doing what they do, giving you the correct time. So it's always fun as watch nerds to check that out. So this is, you can see the part number there, the SP5055. Did you hear that ping in the background? That's the, I think that's hole 2 over there. Those guys are teeing off. So that's always fun to listen to. So I don't, with my move and everything, I don't have my calipers readily available, but this is easily the correct measurement on their website. It's a 42 millimeter, 14 millimeter thick, 20 millimeter lug width. And then, you know what? They didn't put down the lug to lug. So, sorry guys, I didn't get a measurement on that. But if you look at it next to the Alpinist, you can tell that that lug to lug on this guy is probably around 47 or 48 if I were to have to guess. I'm usually pretty good at guessing that stuff, so it's going to be right in there. I'll give you a wrist shot here in a second before we go too long. I did want to show you next to the Alpinist because, similar style watch. I mean, not style, but when you see this watch, you can't help but think of the Alpinist. That's just the way I operate. So it actually made me think too, just like I keep the Seiko SKX because I love to wear it, but also it's a really good watch to show next to other watches. I think I might actually hold on to the Alpinist just for this reason alone, because there are some really cool watches like this Spinnaker Bradner that would be a kind of cool thing to compare it to. So I'll pop off the watch I've been wearing. This is my SNE, as Patrick would say, 499, the Patty. There it is next to that, by the way, just so you can see a little bit of a size comparison. And I'll go ahead and pop it on my wrist. I've been eating pretty bad, a little bit of stress eating with all the move. I might be getting closer to that 7¼ inch wrist versus the 7 1/8 that I was possibly at. But you can see, I can't get too far out, but you can see it wears great. I mean, so if you have anywhere from a 6 3/4 on up to 7 3/4, or however big your wrist might be, even an 8 inch, I'm sure you'd be fine. I think it looks great. It wears great. You could do some different NATOs. I'm sure this thing would play around with some pretty cool color combination with NATOs if you want to get creative with that. But on this leather strap, I think it would be definitely at home on this, or even some brown ones and stuff. So there's a quick look at that watch. I think I covered everything. I can't give you a lume shot, but like I said, it is not super impressive. It does have lume, so that is good, but it's not crazy Seiko lume or anything like that. So if you guys have any questions or comments or anything like that, let me know. And don't be afraid to check out some of these Spinnakers. They are some serious value for the money, and I expect the brand is only going to continue to give us some serious value options. The name, the way they do it in cursive, is very cool, very retro-like, but it can be difficult to read. So we know this is a Spinnaker, okay? But if somebody else maybe wants to check out your watch, do you think they could read that? You know what I mean? You got to really focus in there. So that would maybe be a complaint, but I really do like the font and the way it's done. It's very retro, and I'm a car guy too. So, and that just, to me, it looks like, a Buick Spinnaker, from like the 50s or 60s, how it would be on the fender or something like that. That's what it looks like to me. It just looks really cool. So anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next vid. I'm getting kind of backlogged There's some sirens. I know a lot of other YouTubers would like to have the sirens in the background. I don't know if you guys can pick that up. So keeping it real out here. I'll see you guys tomorrow probably. Thanks.